Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be as strong as Thor, but really can't be bothered working out because you'd prefer to hang at home and, well, play Kirby? No stress, bud. I've got a Pokemon deck that'll cover you. We've got Tinkaton EX from the new set Paldea Evolved, and this adorable pink killing machine can throw hands with the best of them. It's going to do 30 damage for each card you have in your hand for just 2 energy cards, which is pretty easy to set up. The nice thing about it too, since it's a psychic type Pokemon, we can be using the Pokemon EX Gardevoir that has a psychic embrace ability. It's going to let you accelerate basic psychic energy from your discard pile to your psychic Pokemon, which Tinkaton meets. The nice thing too is Gardevoir is going to evolve from Kirlia. Kirlia lets you discard a card from your hand to draw 2 more cards, meaning we're getting cards in hand to scale up Tinkaton's damage, and we can be discarding that energy to then accelerate out to Tinkaton to do that damage. This combo is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and once it gets going, can be doing some massive damage. Not to mention Tinkaton and Gardevoir, they do give up 2 prizes, but they both have 300 health, so they're not giving up those prizes easily, and they will be taking down your opponent. For some added versatility to this deck though, the Gardevoir lineup does have some interesting options. You can be using a Ralts that has memory skip for just 1 psychic energy, 10 damage, and you can tell your opponent, you can't use that attack. So if they only have 1 attack, we can just lock them out of the game, forcing them to switch out or hard retreat, discarding energy cards. We can also evolve up into the Kirlia that has Mirage Step. 1 psychic energy again, and lets you search your deck for up to 3 Kirlia, put them onto your bench, meaning we don't need to evolve up multiple Ralts. We can just be focusing on getting that Kirlia, getting those Kirlias to our bench, keep those Ralts in our hand to do extra damage with Tinkaton. It's a nice option and a great way to get set up pretty effectively. Both those options though are typically just for games where you're struggling a little bit to get set up, so you want to make it difficult for your opponent as well, and are more so a comeback option. Typically, you want to be evolving up to Tinkaton very quickly with rare candies. You want to get at least 1 Gardevoir EX online very quickly, which we can also be doing with rare candies, and just start swinging as soon as possible. The other option we have is there's another Gardevoir that lets you just draw 2 cards. If any of those cards are energy, you can attach them to your Pokemon, being a great option to scale up our hand size without having to discard a card. The Kirlia is great, lets you draw 2 cards, but you're losing 1, so it's only really a +1, whereas that Gardevoir is just a straight +2 with no downside. So once you can get those online, it's really good. And the nice thing too is that Gardevoir has more than 90 HP, so we don't need to be concerned about Greninja coming out and taking out 2 Kirlias at a time. That is a bit of a threat though. Chien-Pao is seeing a lot of play. Lost Box is still running Greninja, so we do include 1 copy of Manaphy just for a bit of bench protection to avoid that happening though, and make sure that we're not getting our deck completely shut down before it even gets going. Since this deck aims to set up multiple Pokemon very quickly though, we do have a lot of ways to get, well, multiple Pokemon out very quickly. We've got Battle VIP Pass to set up our basics, Level Balls to search out our basics, or the Kirlias since they have less than 90 HP, Fog Crystal to get our basic Psychic Pokemon, or Psychic Energy if we need it, which can then easily be discarded with Kirlia, thinning out our deck, and then setting up into the Gardevoir EX to accelerate, as well as Ultra Ball just to be able to directly target our evolution Pokemon, since the Tinkatons and the Gardevoir EXs can't really be found any other way than just straight draw or with the Ultra Ball. Our supporter lineup also offers a lot of draw power. We've got Professor's Research just to ditch our hand and draw into 7, which is quite a bit of damage for Tinkaton to be doing. If something gets knocked out, we can be using Cynthia's Ambition, letting us draw until we have up to 8 cards in our hand, or we can be using straight up draw cards like Miriam, which lets you recycle Pokemon cards from your discard pile. So if we've used Kirlia and discarded some other Ralts or Kirlias earlier in the game, Miriam can put 5 of them back into the deck and then straight draw into 3 cards, effectively becoming +2 to our hand size and resetting our deck. We also include Zinnia, which lets you discard 2 cards from your hand and then draw a card for each Pokemon your opponent has in play. So if we have a very large hand size, we can be going past those hand size limitations that Professor's Research and Cynthia have. Maybe we have an 8-card hand, but we'd prefer to have a 14-card hand. Use Zinnia. Also, Clara being a great option to recover Pokemon and energy cards if we need them, or just going, hey, I have 1 card in my hand. This 1 card can become 4 cards because Clara essentially just swaps itself out for 2 discarded Pokemon and 2 discarded energy, and then it's effectively a +90 damage for our Tinkaton. It's a great option to have, as well as just great recovery for the deck to be able to use. As Tinkaton only needs 2 energy to attack though, we're pretty limited on the amount that we run. We've got Fog Crystal to search them out and a lot of draw power, so you're getting into them quickly, but there is only 7 Psychic Energy in the deck since Gardevoir can just keep reusing them, which is really great. Can be a little bit of a drawback though, because occasionally you won't be finding them very quickly. The other slight Achilles heel this deck does have is we don't have any counter stadiums. The only one we're really concerned about is Path to the Peak, and we really only need to get Gardevoir off once, or we can just be manually charging up Tinkaton as we're evolving up. Would definitely be something worth exploring though. Like you could include a copy of Worker, letting you just straight draw into 3 and discard a Stadium, so you could easily swap that out for the Zinnia. Or another option would be Skater Park, which when you discard energy to pay retreat costs, giving us an effective switch out as well, instead of discarding that energy, it goes back into your hand. So Gardevoir can accelerate energy from the discard pile to something in our active that we're not going to use to attack. We then hard retreat it, putting that energy from the discard pile back into our hand, scaling up Tinkaton's damage, and then just accelerate more energy that's also in the discard pile to our Tinkaton. So if you have 4 in the discard pile, we can put 2 on something, hard retreat, put it into our hand, put 2 more on a Tinkaton. It could definitely be a great option, and ideally, yeah, I'd probably be swapping it out for the Zinnia, so definitely some interesting techs you could explore. Another consideration for the deck would be Squawkabilly EX, just helping you set up early game, but the drawback I found with that is it doesn't have a lot of health, and we don't have a lot of bench space. So if we're putting a low HP Pokemon in play that could be giving up 2 prizes, it's an easy boss target for our opponents instead of forcing them to deal with a 300 HP Tinkaton that's swinging a hammer at their face. So that's kind of why I haven't gone for Squawkabilly, but also an interesting inclusion the deck could have. If you want to try this deck for yourself, you can find the list in the description of this video, and if you do, hitting that thumbs up button's a great way to let me know you tried it and that you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the shenanigans, or if you'd prefer to catch me live, I do stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. Based in Australia though, so maybe we'll be breakfast buddies instead. Let's jump on ladder though and see how we go with this tonight. Interesting. I think we go for that. Just in the chance that like we could go into this Kirlia and cheat 2 more out from the deck. Granted, we don't know if the other 2 are even in there, but as it is right now, our bench just isn't very established. We're into Arcadura, they've opened Drapion, we should be okay. Vulpix makes it invulnerable into things with abilities. The Tinkaton doesn't have an ability, and the Arceus we should just be able to beat up. We just top deck the other one. Okay, well, this is doing nothing for us. Great. Cool, cool, cool. Such a bad use of Miriam, but gets us some draw power. Also, the amount of times we're seeing these Miriams in the first 2 turns is blowing my mind. There's 2 in the deck. How am I seeing these 2 Miriams more than we're seeing Fog Crystal and VIP Pass and Level Ball combined? There they are. Okay, so they go Starbirth, Escape Rope, and likely a supporter for next turn to get out of their hand. Maybe a Bidoof. That too, that's a good one. Thinking they knock that out and likely accelerate energy to the Drapion. Having that to hit into the dark weakness is pretty clutch. Vulpix, I guess they're in the mindset that we're running it as a Gardevoir based deck. Okay. Good call with that logic. And we effectively need to get into rare candies here. We need double rare candy. We need the EX, both these EXs online. So like evolving up to that doesn't even make any sense here. I don't think Tinkaton's the play. Like, we'll give it 2 more turns, but we're just getting rubbish hands to start. Tinglu's so much fun. Maybe we try out Tinglu. Like, I've got Wings of Union lined up for the next deck. I've got a deck list in mind. Well, I've got 2 deck lists in mind for that one. Are you running it with Koraidon? Or how are you getting it going? Like, I guess right side of this matchup, they don't have a way to one-shot into us. So they're trying to take out these little things. Probably should have just been trying to 2-shot into me here, but I am okay with this. Okay. Accepted we're not one-shotting it. Like, we could rare candy this one up, just so that he's not able to take it out. And we thin in hopes of getting into a Cynthia for next turn to get the 8-card hand. We should be alright here. Yeah, you're running with Koraidon. Nice. Yeah, because I feel like with that, it's like, what, 3 Tinglu, 2 Koraidons, Squawkabilly, 2 Haluchas, Alakazam, maybe a Bibarel Engine as some secondary support. Like, they're not benching that, are they? Okay. Like, don't put something down that can give me 3 press. You're on Radiant Greninja, but Alakazam might... Yeah, because I've heard that Alakazam move damage counters around. Then it's like, even if you don't have things that are pinging their bench, it's like, you hit the active, use Alakazam, move stuff around. I can get rid of the energy here. I think we're fine just to kind of hold this hand, to be honest. I do this, I get into 2 more cards. Laura gets me another 4. This gets me another 2. Okay. Nice. All right, comeback time. So yeah, they have no way to one-shot. If we had evolved one of these to the EXs, then if they could get Drapion online, Drapion could hit weakness into it and take out a Gardevoir EX in one shot. Like, they just attach a DT, it does 170, doubles to 340. So by going into these ones, just have straight draw power, it's guaranteeing us 4 cards in hand each turn. If they Iono us, it goes down to 4 cards. We do these two, draw for turn, we're at a 9-card hand, we're doing 270. We're taking out essentially everything. 10 damage off hitting that Arceus. But I think we just boss kill that Arceus now to avoid that happening. Right? 360. Okay. Do I attach here? Sure. Attach there, so even if they Iono us, our second attack is doing enough damage to take out that Vulpix. Just a casual 450 damage. That'll do it, I think. Gets definitely gets the job done. Hindsight, I probably should have Pal Padded, unless we just got that off the prizes. I wasn't even looking at what was in our hand, it's just swing. Luminion for Iono. Like, that's the biggest concern, is if they do that. Yeah. Okay, so that puts us down to a 2-card hand. We draw for turn 3. We use both these 7. We're doing 210. We're taking out this Drapion still. The only way they survive is if they hard retreat into that Arceus and we don't get into a draw supporter. Yeah, so we just have it here. Nice. All right. The comeback. Like, I'm not disappointed with the Tinkaton list. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you made it this far, why don't you let me know in the comments down below by telling me who you think would win in a fight, Kirby or Thor? Because, like, Thor's pretty powerful, but Kirby's basically rubber. So, would the lightning even hurt him, or am I just overthinking things here? Probably just overthinking things here. If you're after more decklists and shenanigans, there should be some more videos popping up on the screen for you right now. Till next time, take care of yourself.